Ewan, I was surprised to get this call from you yesterday saying we need to do a video about this because everything seems to be going so well. And then I've realized what it is. It's the problem of success. Success that people are starting to pick up, reach out for soil tests. They're seeing our videos, but then you have the problem of word of mouth where they've seen none of these.
Yeah, and that's the really triggering point because it's such a systemized approach.
This is a really good problem to have, by the way.
It is a great problem to have. And I mean, we got people coming from all over the world coming at us. And with everything that we do is we have to put it in a systemized approach. The way we deal with the soil, the way we deal with our customers, the way we deal with the whole process about who we purchase products off and how we get things in order.
Well, what sparked this? What's made you go, oh, goodness, there's a missing element of something here?
A couple of clients had some things they rang up, said, things aren't going too good. And I said, is it one of these, this question or this question? They go, that one. And I go, somebody hasn't got back to you in regards to that of putting a process in place that has to be done. And it's critical.
So this would be maybe your average farmer looking to boost output, or there's something with animals that they're trying to get better or something.
Well, it's an absolute, this is the thing. These clients came on last year in the autumn. They didn't come through our YouTube channel or our Facebook avenue. They came in through a recommendation to someone else, and they haven't picked up all of that material of what they need to do. Their knowledge on the EMF and the rocks, and that was totally nothing. And it took off when we started. Right.
Okay, so they've heard this Ewan guy and EFA is really going to help your business, but they're still within a different paradigm of farming.
That's right.
Okay.
And look, they're totally open to it, but I've got to get that knowledge across to them. And so I thought, well, okay, let's do a video of how our business starts to finish and allow people that are unaware of all these things, like on that worst horrible rainy day or whatever, you download podcasts, listen to this stuff, start to get a handle on what these things are. Because basically, we're offering you a new car for sale with a whole lot of different operating systems, you know?
This is a really different kind of a car.
There's a different type of car.
This is more than just a car that's a manual and you've been used to driving an auto.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one that you don't have to put so much fuel in the fuel tank as long as you know how to manage the process. And it's one how to manage the production and the horsepower that comes from it, because we're actually developing horsepower.
Yeah.
So when these things come into gear, you got to, okay. And I don't like having to go backwards to save people. I'd rather get their farms operating functionality. They spend the money with us. They've got to get the go forward right from the word go.
Well, what happens if they don't?
Well, it's the same with the EMF. It shuts down. And I mean, if you watch the EMF video, you can see it shuts down. And
I think people think they can avoid that one. They can just put the right stuff on the land. They've done the soil test. They've fixed the limiting factors. They've taken your understanding of biology and go, cool, it should just work now.
Yes. And I have to go back and, honestly, I say, look, I'm going to come around with that ball peen hammer and start bashing your toes unless you start listening.
Okay, but this is an example of a different paradigm of thinking, because they've never before had someone discuss how EMF frequencies on their land is going to be a limiting factor, even if they've got all the macronutrients correct.
Totally. They've got no idea how underpowered their farm is, and all of a sudden you power it up, but you've powered up with what one client called was gutsake music.
Gutsake music.
Yeah. And it was like a kid standing at a heavy metal concert right in front of the speakers and thinking that you're going to go home in a sane state of mind and everything's going to be functioning, like it doesn't, and you can't. And so this is just part of the procedures that what we go through. And I thought, right, let's sit down, make a video, what happens from start to finish with clients coming on board and why we'd like to get them educated to a certain level. Sure, you don't need to learn all of the science and bits and pieces, but there are critical things about driving that car.
Okay, can I just get a slight preview on what's to come here? Because the kind of thing that can happen is it can all turn bad when you amplify the power of your land if you haven't got it in order. Is that right?
That's absolutely right.
Okay.
And this is, people just do not realize.
Well, what's an example of bad?
Oh, it just stops growing. Or you change the brown top, or the weeds come back, or,
So you've done a soil test, you've got the limiting factors sorted, you've taken the brew that you've biologically sort of figured out how it's going to work and interact, and gone, put on this superpower, and suddenly everything halts?
Well, go through the winter, a good example. You put it on the autumn, you've got the lower voltages going through the soil, things start to work, there's not so much interference from next door and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Hit springtime and it's not working. And that's when the highest electrical fields in the year come into play.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it was looking cool. And it just stopped. And I go, oh, no, we've missed getting those rocks out and protecting that from the EMF fields.
Okay.
And it's just like it's like a virus in your computer.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it doesn't work. It's like you're pushing buttons and why isn't it working? Everything's there.
But you can't even blame someone who's been farming for, 50 years to not be aware of this if this is the first time they're hearing about it, right?
Totally. But what I'm trying to impress on people is that if you're going to buy a new car, listen, please listen.
This one works differently.
Yes, this one
Here's the
works
manual.
different. Yeah, and here's the process and operating procedures as we go forward. And it really does take a bit of knowledge and understanding. And like everybody has been exposed to these things before. And there's lots of people, I get farmers ask questions and go, yeah, did you notice when they did this or they did not really, but yeah, actually when they put that cell phone tower up there or something over there, things were a bit skew if, like there's things that you rattle their brains a little bit and then all of a sudden, is it all right to think that way that could have caused that problem? And going, sure it is. It's like, our cell phones, your cell phone right here, it's got a frequency coming to it, coming to you, near you right now, and
coming to a brain near yours.
Yeah. And so it's got a receptor, and that's a silicon chip.
Yep.
Okay, and it's an amplifier. And what the silicon chip says, it's yours, and I'm going to turn it on. Okay? Now, but on your farm, we want to go, that's not yours. It doesn't belong in here. Keep out.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the part where I'm trying to point out. We've got lots of power on that cell phone. On our cell phones, we divide up who it belongs to, what you're allowed to do on it, how you can talk on it. I've got to treat your farm the same.
All right, so we're creating the ideal frequency conditions for life.
Yes.
As for the cyanobacteria, for the plant growth, for the animals, as well as the right kinds of brews that you just sort of traditionally think are going to push things out this spring.
Totally. Yes.
All right. Now, but is this very hard to correct?
No, it's not hard to correct. It's just people are unaware of the procedures. So, like, the first thing that happens with us is generally, and this is the word of mouth issue that's coming, generally most people are coming in through they make a phone call. I've been watching your videos and I'm really interested. How does this work? Or they go, oh man, I've been watching that YouTube channel. This is crazy stuff. Going to get a soil test,
Mm-hmm.
And, or what's happening now is clients are talking to other clients. The word of mouth is starting to come in and people end up getting a soil test, but they haven't naturally followed through this procedure of this learning process that we're going through.
Mm.
So what people don't understand right from the start, and I'll run through this. So like we get the contact from the farmers and we need all the information really, because for us to feed it back to you, we need to know where you live, your email and your ability to actually deal with you.
Yeah. I mean, imagine going to the doctor and not revealing all your information, right? That's sort of it.
That's it. And, I'm not trying to be nosy in your business. I'm just trying to set it up so that when we go to interact with you, we know that the information is going to get to you.
Yeah, well, this would be the same with any specialist or person who's real advanced in their field. They're going to want to know everything as a consultant to fix a situation.
As much as we possibly can.
Yeah.
Yep. And the more I talk to farmers, go, okay, you've just said something now. I can actually remedy this. So once we get that information that we asked for, then we get the soil test. So this is different straight away. We walk out there with 2 buckets. We've got a GPS coordinates. We're actually plotting your farm to try and get a randomized but sort of methodical approach to getting a picture of your property.
Mm-hmm. And the importance of the GPS is really significant, right?
Well, if we're going to compare eggs with eggs, we got to know where the egg came from, and we got to go back next year to see what that egg is. And when we're building soil as fast as we build soil, we got to know what those limiting factors are. And I'll give you an example at home at the moment. Is like we are growing soil. Like my soil probe is 400 mils long, and we've got soil coming out the bottom end of it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we used to only have 125 mils of topsoil. And so when you start growing this huge base of soil, you hit limiting factors.
Mm.
So first off, we're doing the totals and the availables and the soil test, but even to the next realm of like when we're doing herbage test after year 1, going, my cobalt's disappeared this year. It was in a really good range right up till now, and now it's gone boom. And I can see it in my livestock, and I can see it in the herbage test. It's reflected what's gone on. It's also shown that I need some more selenium, which I've been banging away, but like all of a sudden we've grown a lot more ground. And these are the limiting factors in
Up
this.
and down?
Oh, downwards. I mean, we're growing soil like it's going out of fashion. And the growth comes with it. Like the amount of grass that we're growing from, it's just bounding further forward. But these minor trace elements are critical. And so without the right information and going back to the same places and reflecting on this as you go forward and building these soils, you don't know. You can't, it's just a big guesstimate, like if you don't have that information.
Okay, so to remove guesstimates, the GPS is in place?
Absolutely.
Are you telling me that people don't always soil test with GPS then?
Hardly anyone does.
I can't believe that.
Yeah, like it's very,
because I'm the idiot here. I ask the dumb questions, but it just strikes me as so dumb that people aren't already doing this. I mean, GPSs have been around since, you had your nav man, in your car before we all did it on cell phones. So the technology's been widely consumer available and easily employable with like waypoints on a farm that you can just select. Okay. Sorry, I'll get off that. The reason I asked about
it's critical. This is one of the things is like we have to be way more accurate in our approach to farming than the way we have been.
I guess it's just a pat on your back for actually employing a system that's thorough, because other people are going to look at their soil test and go, yeah, look, I've got a soil test. I get it. I'm doing this on my own without you. Yeah, but are you even doing GPS points at each soil test location is that question.
Well, totally. They're not. And there's a few starting to catch on to this process now.
Well, you've just given the game away now, and you can have that one for free.
Well,
it'd be stupid if you weren't.
Yes, well, just get out there and be accurate about it. Like that's the number one thing about it. Is like farming can be extremely accurate, even though soil science is it's an interesting beast. You're looking at this much ground that nobody's ever looked at except for 4 basic minerals. Mm-hmm. And somebody walked across the paddock taking a sample with a 75 mil probe, and then sell
75, just 75.
Yeah, and just selling you a product.
Yeah,
it didn't matter what came back in the soil test. Oh, you just need some more of this. And I'm going, well, if my business is going to subsist and blossom, accuracy is king. And this is part of what I've seen right through the agricultural sector here and overseas with the people I'm talking to. Is the lack of accuracy and lack of accountability.
And so the significance when you said earlier that you have a 400 mil probe, right, is because you've got a couple of sections there, your top 150 and then the next 150, which takes you from 150 down to 300 mils deep.
Yeah.
You've got a 400 mil probe that you just mentioned you use because your soil is growing, and it's both growing upwards and absorbing rocks and things and growing up the sides.
Well, yeah, when you see it in rocky ground, the worm casting just keep up on top. And so like the
And that makes sense because I could imagine things getting deeper that way. But when you're seeing real improvement, it also digs into unfertile or unexpectedly, previously barren sort of substances that then become biologically active. Now, I don't want to take you off the track because we have to get back to the reason you're making this video, but that excites me that people can even have stuff turn from useless to useful in that depth as it gets better.
Absolutely. And this is the critical part of why we're going through this video, because basically everybody's different. Like we... when I look at it, I've described ourselves. Once you get through this top layer in our soils, we go into this volcanic trash. It's just the good thing about it, it's free draining, but it's got nothing in it, no mineral content. If you go to Taranaki, God, you could take the top off and start again tomorrow. It's beautiful. What came out of that volcanic source. So they're all different. So I akin to our processes, balancing is like standing on top of a soccer ball.
Oh, yeah.
As we're growing soils.
Yeah.
Well, standing on top of a soccer ball is not easy unless you've got your eye on the ball and you've actually got a good feel for what's going on and knowing what to check up on. And that's why I'm going, you've got to do this. You have to follow this process if you want to come out the other end of it.
Okay. So I can't just sum today's episode up as, hey, get your electromagnetic stuff in order and get a bag of Guardian rocks. It's not that simple?
No, it's not. Yeah. It's like I'm just trying to point out to people what the steps are. So to keep the eye on the ball.
Right, but the EMF thing is one significant factor.
Just one of the factors. So first thing is we go and do these GPS tests. They come back to the office here and we dry them and sift them just like the lab does.
Yeah.
Except this way we actually get the weight down and send them off to the lab in Brookside in the States, and they don't have to process them. They just put them through the lab at that stage. And if we have any issues in that, usually they've got enough material there, we can retest it. If the test's going, that's not right, there's something wrong, we've still got their soil test, the bags of material here, so we can always fire again if we need to recheck.
Oh.
There are some, some every now and then things.
I thought you sent, after you processed it, I thought it was just in a more palatable way for the tests to take place, and they received everything.
No,
Okay.
it's really mixing, screening, getting a representative sample. Because the lab,
So it's like you keep a sort of a backup copy.
Yes.
Right.
And we'll keep that about 12 months and then out it goes. So that goes to the lab. As soon as the lab's done, bang, back comes the lab results.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then we have to talk to the farmer about, well, how much farm the area do you want to do? How are we going to do it? What's your budget? Where would the product come from? Who's your trucking company? All of these things.
Mm.
So we put all this together and go, yes, okay. So farmer says we've got X amount of dollars to spend. Go, cool, we can actually make that work and get a good brew together. We'll go through and do the numbers from the soil test.
Mm.
And that's where I go, if you want to dig deeper on that, go and have a look at the soil test video.
Yeah, because you've got something there that you can just absorb yourself into and become more familiar in your own time. And because we put it on Spotify, you can even just listen to it.
Yeah, and that's what I'm just saying is okay, so the next step is, these guys are going to ring me up about my soil test. I'll watch the soil test video so I've got a bit of a handle on what they're talking about, okay?
You really want them to, so that you can have sort of conversations that are out of first gear and into second, third, and fourth.
Yeah, we've dropped the clutch and put the foot down and we're taking off because we're not.
You don't want to be explaining basics to people all the time.
That's it. We can't.
Yeah, there's no time.
No, there isn't. Well, for us to explain the basics, we put it on YouTube or Spotify. That we've done that so that you can listen to it in your own time.
Yeah, if you're a farming professional, just get on board with it. Learn it because it's for your benefit.
Totally.
Yeah.
And you can't expect somebody to roll up your driveway and sit here and give you a lecture on soil science and blah, 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 and what you have to do and then retain it. Because some of our clients have said about the soil test video, they watched it 6 times.
Yeah.
But now when you talk to them, they go, oh, wow, I know what you're doing now, Ewan. I got it. I can see where this is going. When you say, oh, you see went up and that went there and this went there.
Yeah, because it's more than just seeing what the limiting factors are and topping them up. It's having... Well, for you, I think it's having an understanding of the biological activity, how things will change.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so then we can start to show the real value of your soil that comes out of the total test, bringing it into the available test, the limiting factors, and we can move forward from there.
Okay, what's the significance of knowing who your transport company is or your truck?
Well, look, all of this stuff, right, when you're doing a quote, right, when it gets there, I've got your soil test, well, how are you going to get it to you? Going, oh, well, I use such and such trucking company. Okay. And blah, blah, blah. And so you've got the contacts for the trucking company, the transport numbers, the whole, how are you going to do that? Are we going to drop off in a bin? What sort of spreading mechanism have you got? Oh, that's a flying brew. That has to come from here.
Oh, right, because certain kinds of spreading mechanisms aren't going to work if it gums it up, or that's probably the wrong word, but if it's too moist and it can't spread easily, for example.
Yeah, well, flying brews are completely different to land brews, and these are all things that we need to know, and it all has a cost effect. Like, we're trying to get everything to you at the best possible price to make it work for the best possible outcome.
Mm-hmm.
And so hence, again, it's information. Mm-hmm. It's more, okay, I can do it this way. I can do it that way. I can do
the logistics are really kind of important, right? It's not like you've got Amazon dropping off a courier at your door. You've actually got such a giant load of something. You've got to know who's going to deliver it, how it's going to be delivered, and in what manner that you're going to be able to actually utilize it. Yeah,
and that absolutely. So we got to know, like, are we delivering truckloads or are we doing unit loads? So we're going, and how big are those unit loads? Because like some of the guys in the South Island will carry nearly 40 tonne a load. Yeah, and others up north are 28. So there's a massive difference between load space, cost budgeting, transport and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
It costs the same amount for the truck to get from A to B, whether it had a half a load or a full load. So I'm always trying to manage the situation about
making it cost effective.
Yeah, and even with some clients, like I'd say, look, you're better off, especially the small ones, you're better off to load right up this year and get a full unit load, because the cost benefit, you're better off to do it there and just take a break next year if you can't afford it. Just sit on it, because you'll have a better outcome cost effectively wise than going, oh, well, I'll just get half a load. And I go, your transport cost is going to go up by $50 a tonne. So then you're spending money on stuff that you actually go is thin air. So that comes back to this investment or consumable. What we're doing here is an investment in your future, not a consumable that you have to keep doing every year and year in, year out.
Okay. So take me now to a little bit further down the track. You've got this new car as the analogy. How are we driving it differently moving forward
so
once you've got the things you need?
We've gone out there and we've worked out the spreading rate, and how you're going to spread it, whether it's the spreading contractor or yourself. Now, the first thing that I say is, like, when you're spreading it, it's like, get closer to the fences. Get the product under the fences, because it will help get rid of the blackberries and the other things that grow up through the fences and the drains and everything. I just see it time and time again. The fert spreading guys have got so frightened by fertilizer in the waterways, they'll be 4 or 5 meters. They'll be dropping stuff. And like we saw one client in Aotearoa last autumn, and you could see where the truck had going around, and here's the California thistles up here, and where he'd gone down was like this. But he'd missed about 5 meters right around the outside of the fence line.
So it's not just laziness. It's actually maybe intentionally done to avoid other problems that you would have had in your old paradigm.
Yes. And so here it was, from that piece where he didn't get to, is with California thistles, and we had blackberries coming up in the drain. I'm going, you're better off to get close.
God, I wonder what percentage that would be across the whole farm.
Well, it adds up.
Yeah,
it does.
Yeah.
But and because it's around the outside of the paddock, it adds up a lot.
Oh, yeah, because it's the biggest part of the perimeter.
That's right.
Yeah.
So these are things that you got to be aware of. Don't be a Nancy and go, oh, no, I've got to put it so far out from waterways. And like, no, you want it close. You want it right up to the edge, because you don't want the blackberries coming back. You don't want the thistles. You don't want all these other things. You want grazable pasture up to the edge, and it will hold the land in place.
Yeah.
So that's another thing that we got to take into context.
Yeah.
And like, these are just things that nobody would think about. And it's like, we're out seeing this and watching the truck spread and going, oh, stop, go and do it. So now we have to tell the farmers, make sure you do this.
Yeah.
And it actually makes a huge difference when you're doing the calculations, because some farmers come back and say, oh, I had all this product left over, and go, oh, yeah, how close did they get to the outside? Oh, so-and-so. And go, yeah, well, that's at least half a trip around each paddock. How many paddocks you got? 10. Well, there's the product that you thought you had left over is actually, it was calculated for, but they haven't put it on because they were avoiding the outside edge.
Yeah, no wonder why they've got that extra left over.
That's it.
Yeah, and they haven't been charged for more than they needed. They haven't used it all.
Yes, absolutely.
Can you think of some phone calls you've had or conversations you've had this week which could have been resolved if only they had XYZ?
Oh, look, one of them was an absolute, and that's part of the reason I'm doing this right now, is that they came in through a different avenue. They'd gone to a group conference thing. Someone said, oh, you need to talk to these fellas. They got the soil samples, got it away, and this was sort of latish on in the autumn, and we were just going hammer and tong at the time trying to keep up on it. And so they did everything as far as the soil test management, all that sort of stuff, but we weren't on to them in regards to the rocks and looking the EMF. And when I talked to them the other day, they didn't know anything about it. So they came in through a different avenue and we missed them.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's like, I hate this, but whatever we see, we need to learn from.
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay, let's follow this through. So the product's on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as I show a lot of people as the fungal species get stuck into the ground and they start breaking down, and as I say, it's the Control-Alt-Delete button of all the crap on the soil, people need to go and see what's happening and get a feel for what's happening. We use a very simple set of fish scales if you're out there by yourself, just to understand what's going on. And so those fish scales are great when you're going places because you can weigh your bags. We do that all the time.
Do you?
Yeah. Well, when you're going to jet on the plane and you're going up and down the country, you got.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's true. Yeah.
Okay.
But I use airport scales, but
Yeah, well, if you're at home, it's a bastard if you get to the airport and you're overweight and you've got nowhere to put it. You got 5 coats on and 3 jackets and you're hot as hell and you're trying to get on the aeroplane.
Sure.
So with that, we can start doing this muscle testing process. You can do it by yourself, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And that means that when you go and put the product on, you can actually take a sample of soil and hold it yourself and do your muscle testing and see how strong you are.
Yeah.
And then over a period of 3 to 4 weeks, 6 weeks, if the ground's moist, you'll actually realize, holy shit, the soil's actually getting clean.
Mm-hmm.
This fungal species we put in there is now starting to do the control, alt, delete, starting to get it to function for you.
Okay. Muscle testing has another fancy name too. It's
kinesiology.
Kinesiology, right? Yeah.
And so we've got videos on all this stuff, eh?
Yeah, I think we've got some great examples of seeing it out in action at one of the late spring open days.
Yes.
And we had a guy there who worked out. You could tell 3 to 4 times a week. He was quite a strong fella. And with the placement of the guardian rock on the electrical lines on the fence, not on the electrical lines, they were just on the fence line, weren't they?
Yeah, well,
because that wasn't even electrified, was it?
No, that's just a.
And then he held that and was weak and in place with the rock at the base of the fence, holding it. His muscle testing held strength. It's a fascinating example of the human energy field as your own barometer of the effect of this.
Totally,
yeah,
and you really need to take notice of that. So you can check the soil. But that is where you need to get onto this boundary fences, the fences around the area that you've actually fertilized. Because what you've done is Probitas, the product, is a powdered solar panel.
Oh man, it's just hitting me like a ton of rocks. Like it's clicking for me. You've got to get it in and around the fences because you're improving and increasing the power of the frequency of the land around the fences.
That's right.
So that is also going to, how can I put it, worsen the situation.
Impose.
Because if you've got shit in the ground and you're powering it up, you're powering up the shit. The point about the EMF is to clean that out so you power up the good.
That's it.
I mean, I sound basic, but
no, that's exactly what it is. So when you put Probitas on as part of these brews, what you're doing is there is the amplifier of the biology, the fungal species, the cyanobacteria, the whole biological system.
Not just because of the silica.
No. No,
Okay.
it's that sunlight hits the silica. It goes through this process where photons convert to electrons and they put off heat and light, and the electricity runs east-west around the planet. But
and that's just the science. There's nothing woo-woo about that.
There's nothing woo-woo about that. I mean, the Earth would not spin if it wasn't an electrical dynamo. It doesn't work. So with that, even though the neighbours haven't put, or you haven't done, if you're doing a trial plot inside your own property, if you don't protect yourself from what's outside, it migrates into your part that you've got this powdered solar panel.
Okay, so we're talking chemical sprays, residues from previous years, repeated application of ferts that were sort of the fashion du jour of the day for the last 9 decades. It's just all in the neighbour's
or your
place from sort of 100 years of history.
Yes,
and now you're trying to fix it.
Yes,
okay.
And you can't unless you clean it. And so this is why we've learned over time that these fungal species are just can't get over how fantastic they are. They're just working 24/7. They love electricity and all this sort of, they get in and clean stuff up.
Yeah, well, they've been fixing Chernobyl.
Yes, that's right. And we'll do a video on that too. And I saw that in Wales too, if you want to read the books and all that. So, but when we go back to that part, we have learnt how to stop that EMF field coming from outside into where we power up this powered solar panel. If we don't fix it, the bad frequency coming in amplifies that gutsache music.
The gutsache music, yeah.
And it does. I mean, I've seen it at home where the rock's fallen off the fence and we've 15 meters of only brown top and shit. And like when we fixed it, within 2 weeks, the plantain's back up, the red clover's growing, and the cows aren't pissed off.
Yeah.
So you can't, and you can measure this with your own body, doing muscle testing, going, oh, shit, look what happened there. If I took that off, if you look at the amount of weight that you can lift when you're not affected by EMF, And then when you open yourself up to the EMF and you see how much less you can lift, I put that in the category of how much production you're losing if you don't actually fix it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so that would probably, in a sense, almost represent a percentage difference for your outputs.
It's around 30
Yeah.
30 to 40% generally.
Yeah.
Which is, you can't afford to be losing 30 to 40% production just from not putting some rocks on and taking some care and attention because it sounds woo-woo.
Yeah, yeah.
So what I got to do is put it into context, right?
Okay.
You've got all this electronic stuff.
Yep.
Okay. So if you get a virus and you get someone else's shit in there, what happens?
Well, it goes very badly if that happens. And I always hope that it doesn't.
Right. And so we protect ourselves, don't we? Have virus protection?
Sure. I mean, yeah, or you choose technology that's not susceptible to it.
Okay. So that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
We choose to use rocks and protect ourselves from those boundaries, and it's just the same as dealing with your computer. So just put it into electronic terms, okay?
Okay.
You upgrade your farm, you upgrade your computer. Protect it. So that's where we move to the next point.
Well, I've actually got one here. Yeah, if you want to grab that so that it can be seen. That's an example of an andesite rock, which comes from the Guardian Rock collection, and it's not the only type of volcanic rock which will do this, but your particular one you got this very good quality.
Yeah, it works exceedingly well. It's actually not even paramagnetic, but some of the paramagnetic rocks work really well, and so these volcanic rocks are the ones that always work. River rocks don't, even if they came from original.
You mentioned this to me the other day, so that could include basalt or scoria.
Yes.
And this is andesite.
Yes.
Okay.
That's right. So, people can find these rocks themselves by testing, But what we've found is that we know this one works really well, and we got a guy that's got a rock splitter. So that he can make them down to these sizes, and for a couple of $100, you can protect your farm. And it's not, I don't need to renew your subscription next year.
Yeah, that's right. No, this is something that's just kind of permanently yours and you do it once. Yeah. I mean, I know someone who who's taken such an interest in this personally. He's turned it into a wearable pendant. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, are you wearing one at the moment?
Oh, look, I won't go without it.
Yeah. Did it come from Campbell?
No, but it came from another guy that was building them, but I'm hopefully that Campbell will start producing.
Yeah.
For me, I'm being very susceptible and being in environments like this, although we've tried to protect it.
I wouldn't mind getting one of those. I caught up with him at the beach actually, quite by accident, and there he was, and he was telling me about it. It looks like he's making pieces of punama.
They're beautiful. Yeah. They're a bit lighter when they come out, but when they get a bit of your body fat and everything else, I mean, they're kind of dark green.
Sorry for the sidetrack. The beauty of what he's making there is in the artistry of how he's cut it down. But this is not exactly jewelry grade rock. You're not buying really, really expensive stuff when you're getting it for your farm.
No. But the thing is, people that are susceptible to this stuff, this helps a lot.
Yeah.
And if you set it right over the brisket bone, in the middle there, in the sternum there, you can. Where I've gone onto farms before and I just could not be there because I was so buggered up by the EMF. Even before we'd done any work, I can wander around with this on me now and actually survive quite comfortably.
I wonder if there's an important distinction here. We live in a world of a soup, if you will, of flowing electricity, EMF, just all around us all the time.
Yep.
Especially in modern lives with neighbors that have got, modems and routers and stuff. Out on the farm, that's still true because you've got power lines, you've got the frequency of the land, and you've got whatever transmissions are in the air, your FM radios, all of the different
electric fences,
all of the variety of different things, which will come under different categories. Like, to be clear, I'm not lumping it all into one kind of thing. But an andesite rock like this, the way you've described it to me, doesn't block it or stop it. It cleans it.
Yes.
And that's important, right? Because some people will make a claim that I've got something that stops and blocks frequency. Well, that only really happens with a Faraday cage, doesn't it?
It's virtually impossible to stop it because every electrical current has an EMF. So when you look at the Earth spinning like a dynamo, it needs electricity running around. It's got a magnetic field, north-south. So how are you going to block that?
I don't imagine you could.
No. Well, you know what had happened?
Yeah.
The Earth had stopped spinning.
Sure. I suppose you can stop it. Like the Faraday cages, people talk about going to, say, a comedy club, and the requirement of the comedy club is no phones.
Oh,
And so
yeah.
everyone puts them in a Faraday bag
Oh, okay.
as part of at reception, and then you go in and watch it without phones.
Oh.
What a novelty. I think that was normal 50 years ago. But yeah, so they're blocking it in that way. But this is not making that claim. This is you clean a frequency that exists, and then, hey, it's not a problem. It's because it's the information that travels on the frequency,
Yes.
which represents a distortion from the past.
Yeah,
and the history of what's on that.
And I
that property.
really, I'm quite open. I don't quite know how it does it.
Mm-hmm.
All I know is it works, and I am very susceptible. And the more and more people that I see that are susceptible to it, and this, a lot of younger people I see, they get anxious, anxiety, and you go, here, try this, and all of a sudden there's a different person behind there.
Mm-hmm.
And they're so exposed to all this EMF and all this other stuff. It's just like we didn't grow up with that.
No.
Christ, I had a Morris Oxford 1955. It had a set of distributor, and the biggest, most electronic thing was a radio in it.
Yeah. Was it a crystal set?
So probably. It's like, I had to go run around and change the valves. But this is what we are faced with now.
So you can't really overstate it. You're going to, and so I'll state it again. You're improving the land. You've gone through a process. You've taken a look at the EFA philosophy and gone, all right, we looked at limiting factors. We've been very specific about it with GPS. We're monitoring it year on year. We're seeing the improvement of the health outputs. And suddenly there's a moment where it hits a wall because everything's come full blast. That's the good with the bad. And this is the moment where the EMF protection comes in and it dials out the bad because it cleans it. And so then you get that continued power growth coming through.
Absolutely. And I think, what we used to see, and this is the changing world that we live in with the amount of satellites and information coming in, I used to say, well, by year 2, we have to do this because we ramp the electricity up and therefore we get the effect. And what I'm saying now is, no, you got to be right first day.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
what's the change, do you think?
Well, how many satellites have we got going around?
Oh, yeah, because Starlink's really put it out a lot. And they're not the only company that's doing that.
And so...
In fact, can I just add, Apple are doing a thing coming up with the next generation of Apple iPhone, which would be the iPhone 18, where they're going to normalize having 5G available from satellites.
Right.
So you don't need the cell towers.
Right. And so what we've got is this impact of all the stuff coming in all the time. And again, there's no way we're going to stop it all. We have to have a remedial action and be able to improve the process on ourselves. We are an electrical receptor. That's how our systems all work. Like see these tendons and what, they all work for an electrical current. They're all thinking, the computer says wave. So it waves, and it's like the soil says, what's this gut-sake music?
And that's that shitty frequency.
That's the shitty frequency. And so we have to be very accurate.
Well, that's the other thing too. It'll do whatever it's told to do, right?
That's
whatever is put in is what's going to come out.
That's absolutely
so you're going to want to change that because it's going to basically do what it's programmed to do.
That's right. And when you get, if you go back and have a look at the cyanobacteria video, it's the smallest organism on the planet and blah, 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 blah. Why is that so important? Well, human or mankind would not be on this planet if it wasn't for cyanobacteria.
Yeah, sure.
And so all of these things, you go, well, okay, so that's reasonably important. And go, yeah. And if you've killed them all and they're not functioning because you've given them gut-sake music, have you not missed the greatest opportunity in our lifetimes to remedy the situation? And playing gut-sake music is not good for them. They don't like it. They won't work. And also, that's why we put the fungal species in. So there's all these ongoing things that we know and have seen. If you want to go through the pain and not do it, I don't really need you as a customer because it's not a good thing. It's like I don't want customers that it isn't working. We need it to function.
Yeah, I think I hear you because you want the best outcome for everyone, and you're going to need people on board with that approach. Otherwise, they're wasting their time too.
Yeah, I'm wasting their money and my time to have a bad outcome. Through this whole journey, the greatest learnings have come from the hard times. But once you've learned it, you shouldn't have to do it again.
Yeah, that's right. And that's actually the key thing behind why some of these videos and the podcasts exist, so that you've got something you can return to and study and save time.
Yes.
So, I mean, originally you were saying, we've got to do this because people are asking me the same things all the time and we need to get out to the more advanced stuff. So let's put that in place so it's there so we can.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's just it looks like we're going to have to go on to a sort of a proper soils course because we've had so much inquiry
Interest.
from outside the country. Although that's another aspect of this whole process too, of how we actually get those products and information to these people. It's easy enough getting the information, hard enough getting the products to them. In this country, we know what to look for, how to get them. We know outside this country that they're there, and that will come. We've just got to get our system sorted out. Same thing.
Yeah.
How does our system work?
Okay.
So what we got to do now, just to carry on. So just when we start these programs, like people go, oh, well, I don't know if I've seen much and I don't know this and don't know that. I really, partake in the process. What I say about getting the soil, getting your little set of scales, or take your wife or your partner or whatever else in the paddock and go and have a play around with it. One of the things that I really, really notice, and I want others to actually really get this, is that before my little pendant, I just hated doing soil samples on new farms because they were toxic. And when you go back 12 months later and things are in order, you find yourself sitting on the ground having a chat with people, playing with the kids and doing things like that. And that, to me, I can, oh man, this has changed. This is a nice place to be. This is an environment I want to be in. So I want to see people understand where we've come from and what we got to and to move forward. Now, in that first 12 months, I'm wanting to see a major change in that soil. Now, partake in the process. Go and dig a few holes. See that thatch has disappeared in the top, right at the top of the soil. All of these things are really important, and you'll think, okay, so the energy of what's gone in to start with the fungal species and the cyanobacteria hasn't given up so much growth the first year. It's actually gone to building it down here. The soil will always eat first.
Okay.
It takes first dibs every time.
Well, it has to, doesn't it?
Yeah.
To be the powerhouse that you expect it to be, it's actually got to get itself ready to go.
Absolutely. So like what we're doing is putting a Swiss watch in place. You got all those sprockets, you're getting, the calcium and the magnesium, and there's a bit of silicon coming in, and we're going to put this jewel in here, and we get that. And then when that starts to get that process sorted, then it starts to give it up to the growth, up to what's going on. So in the first 12 months, my flat statement is, if I can hold you where you are right now and get that part underneath working, and you don't lose production and you save a lot of money and you get some animal health issues, I've really done my job. That's what I promised to do. And quite often we'll go back and we'll do soil tests. I remember one just up Northland, and I think they're going to do the second lot of soil tests. Within the first 12 months, we grew 10 tonnes of carbon per hectare.
Wow.
Okay, and so in regard to that, we built their nutrient storage phenomenally. And I'll do other studies on and show you the numbers on those as we go forward. But like, these are things that are going, cool, test shows we were on track. And he said, I haven't seen too much. But cows are pretty healthy though. We didn't have this and didn't have anything. Cool, I've done my job. But I know now he's followed the program. Second year, okay, now we want to see a herbage test as well. Because the first 12 months is really obtaining what you've got or starting to obtain in the total soil test and bring it forward into availables.
Okay.
Now, when we start looking at selenium, iodine, nickel, cobalt, molybdenum, the most accurate way to test them is actually in a herbage test. But the only way to test them accurately in a herbage test is actually have a soil that's actually starting to function.
Okay.
Because if you take a herbage test on a soil that's not functioning, it doesn't actually give you the true indication. Molybdenum's an absolute perfect example. If you throw a heap of molybdenum on a soil that's not working and then you crank it up, all of a sudden you can be going, oh my God, we got too much. I've got copper deficiency. I've got this, and the other things.
Right.
So I'm very reticent about throwing stuff at it And then the soil test, usually the first year, gives us an indicator where we're going to. Usually we put some nickel and some iodine in because pretty much deficiency. We put some selenium in there. But I'm very, cobalts are, like this one here. We've been at it for 20 years and this is the first year I need to go.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow,
So that's just an indicator. Like last year it was boron. So it showed in the soil test and in the herbage test.
Okay.
So the second year, we're going to start looking at herbage tests along with the soil tests. Generally, I don't go chasing the second year soil test that hard because we sort of got a bit of an indicator, but we need to see what's going on with the herbage test. From there, you get yourself from being on the top of the soccer ball, you start to get to a big fat beach ball and easier to manage. Like it's a bit easier to go. It's like a big yoga ball. You can lie on top of it and lounge around. And, after that, things start to settle down, soil grows a bit deeper, you can manage it, you stop, and you're now in tune with what's going on the farm.
So you sort of get to a place where the changes are less drastic after they've improved. There's sort of more sort of flow rather than sudden jolting changes.
Absolutely. And sometimes those changes are sudden and jolting. And even though the farms are going cranking at home at the moment, I can see the subtlety of this cobalt issue with stock.
Right, but then you'd be at a point where you've got leeway and it's okay. It's not going to kill you.
No, it's not. I mean, our vet bill's still...
You're going to fix it, but...
Yeah, that's right. My vet bill's still zero.
Yeah, right.
And so, this is the thing that we need to move forward with. And this is just getting people into this methodology going, okay, so now I see why he wanted to take the soil tests at those places and we can go back to those places exactly. And then when we do herbage tests, we do them at this time of the year when we're going to growing medium and we want to look at those legumes coming in with the pasture so we can look at the cobalts and whether it's accurate and all these things so that you get the best result. It's like, that's the name of the game. Best result.
Cool.
So follow the program, and I just implore the people, hopefully Stephen will put on the video the links to some of these parts to see these bits and pieces. You need to see them, need to understand them, and go and buy yourself a cheap set of fish scales. They're really, really cool.
Which specifically so that you can do your own kinesiology muscle.
Absolutely. If you're out on the
farm. Do you want to just describe the best way to sort of set that up? If you could sort of paint the picture of, okay, you do this and then that and then pull and so forth.
Okay, so when you're out in the paddock, go out there on the motorbike. Most people have got the motorbike out there, and you got the fish scales, and you can hook it on the back edge, and you can lift as much as you possibly can. Okay, get the number off it. Okay. And then pick a hunk of soil up out of you and then do it again and see how you react. Before we start, generally we see about a 30% decrease in muscle strength.
Okay.
Now, good strong farmers, they should be doing 15 to 18 kilos.
Okay.
The best one I've seen is 24. He did play for the All Blacks. I mean, I didn't want to pick on him, but I would have picked on him after I gave him the shit soil because he just crashed to 14. So
yeah, right.
And then you can do that on the fences and that as well. And when you put in the rocks in and you wire them up and you try, holy shit, that's changed. Wow.
Yeah.
And, do this with your friends and that. This is one of the things I did the other day when we were in Southland. Oh, that's all bullshit. And I was like, get him to do it then. And they were just, oh my God.
Okay. Let me see if I've got this right. I hold a fence line.
Yeah.
Right. And on the other hand, I've got the scales.
Yes, and you're pulling.
And I'm at my arm's length, and I see what my strength is, and the scale says
you go straight out, out from your arms.
For the deltoid.
Yeah.
Right? And you're holding it out. And then when you place a paramagnetic rock in place onto it, then you test it again, and you should be able to be stronger and lift a greater weight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Totally. And
that's a really interesting approach to kinesiology, because what I often see is people pushing down on someone's arm.
Well, you can do that too.
Yeah, but the fish scales is more kind of really metric. If you're in that paradigm of give me the facts and the science, you literally can see the number change.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not very expensive, by the way. I think about $25 or $30 that we paid for that.
Well, when I said airport scales before, I was actually thinking of the Go Travel brand, which I picked up at an airport, which is the portable one that I use at home.
Oh, okay.
And so they're not fish scales, but they're a nice, tidy sort of style, and you can get digital ones or fully manual ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
These are little digital ones. They're great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we sign off, because you mentioned, hopefully I'll show you the things through the video. I'll try and find the right things to overlay as we've played. If you're listening and you're this far into the video, you'll have seen what I've done already in the edit. Let's just quickly pop to the YouTube channel,
Yes.
because we'll just highlight the fact that we have already put in place different playlists. So
Yes.
if you could just comment on that, and I'll just cut to that now. Okay, so I've got the EcoFarm Aotearoa YouTube page here, and when you look across this section here, you can see it says playlists,
Yes.
and even on the home page, as you scroll down, after the For You and the popular videos, it goes into those playlists anyway.
Right.
So we've got Want Weeds Gone Naturally, start here, and it goes through all of those videos sequentially. They're not in any particular order, but I always try and put one of the most recent ones up first. Real farm case studies, you can go through those and bit by bit.
And we're going to add a lot more to those this coming autumn because I'm going to be really busy. So I'm going to send Stephen out to go and talk to these farmers. Yeah.
That sounds exciting. For minerals, trace elements, and animal health, we've got that there. For soil health functions, you can go through those. Now, we're starting to get into the topic we've dealt with today.
Yes.
And also, we've got the EMF one down here. Before we get to that, we've got the custom brews and the EFA mixing shed. So that's a really interesting playlist on its own. It's mainly just that one video called Shed Tour and some of the shorts that come
and that's
after
this is part of this process. Like once we've made this discussions and had this process about this is what you need, you give us the push the button on the job and you'll see how your brew's put together.
Yeah, that's nice for people who are learning about it for the first time. There's the EMF protection on farms and homes. Okay, so that's what we've been talking about. And that's an example. That's the actual one I was thinking of there in that short, which was taken, that's a short taken out of one of the the late spring video.
Late spring, yeah. Late spring,
right.
yeah.
That's right. What else? Lifestylers. You've got a playlist there for you, and I'll go back to that.
I'll go back to the lifestyle. Don't think you're immune.
Well, the lifestylers, they actually come in with a lot of good questions. Don't they? They actually have the same problems.
They don't think you're immune. And when you're doing this for your farm, think about your house as well.
Right.
Okay, if you're going to do the rocks and save the house, get in and do your smart meters, your routers, your downloads for your Sky TVs, all of that stuff, the earth pegs on your house, do all of that.
Yeah.
It's a lot cheaper than actually trying to make a Faraday cage around the house. And it does the amount of comments that people are coming back, I could sleep. I slept. I haven't slept for years.
Yeah.
So people are getting agitated by this EMF all the time and they don't know.
Right. And just finishing off here, you've got the companion podcast is here. So you can do it in order from chapter 1 through to 28 when it's published.
Cool.
And the podcast we're on right now is this playlist. So we've got them all in there.
Cool.
So that's us. And I just want to mention here over in products, I'm on the EFA website now, right? So we're here. And where is it, Ewan, for the Guardian Rocks if you're after them? I think it's down here. There it is.
Guardian Rocks, yeah.
Yeah, there we go. So if you're looking to get hold of them, that's how you can.
Yeah. And I say, it may seem, I'm paying that much for a rock, and going, it's actually you're paying for the cutting up, the packing and distribution to you. The cost of the rock was not much.
No, that's right. That's right. And so you can get them there, and we've got some examples of how they're placed in certain positioning. But I know for a fact that in our EMF video, which I mentioned in the playlists, it's got all of the best advice on how to place it. We did a presentation showing in a variety of places and situations that you can use it, including on the cowshed electrical circuit.
Yes, absolutely. Huge effect on inside of that too. Anything that's got electricity, it's like there's some of them are good, bad. No, I don't know why variable speed milk pumps are chronic.
That's what I was trying to say. Variable speed milk pumps,
and the transmission back to the dairy company about how much milk you got and what temperatures and all that, they're really chronic as well. So, it's quite simple. Just a cable tie and a rock and away you go.
Yeah, nice. Okay, Ewan, I think that is the end of today's podcast, isn't it? Does that cover off pretty much all of the things that would solve it for this point in time when people are hitting a brick wall?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it's not only that. The new people coming on, and there's a lot.
Yeah.
Put these into your thinking programs. Just allow yourself to get into that mode again and thinking about those things. And then it won't be such you're so freaking loopy. I'm going, it's real. It's absolutely out there and we've seen the results. And I don't want people to go through what we had to go through to learn this stuff.
Yeah, you can avoid a lot of heartache by solving this.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Keen to dive deeper? Check out our audiobook and EcoFarmer's Discovery on Spotify, or grab our free ebook, The 6 Things You Need to Improve Soil and Farm Profit. Links in the description.